guys, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. That means a lot. Alright, you guys, so much like everybody else, I do not want to get sick this winter season, so we're going to be making ginger shots for me and my husband. Now, I cannot have citrus, so mine are going to be apple, peach, cinnamon ginger shots, and my husband's are going to be the traditional orange ginger shots, but we're going to make them here in-house to show you how easy it is, without a juicer, to stay healthy and make some ginger shots. Since I don't have a juicer, I am going to be using my blender, and let's go over what we need. Obviously, ginger. Oops, sorry about that. We obviously need ginger, so since I'm making two different recipes, I got a pretty big piece of ginger. So, that's self-explanatory. I also got oranges and apples and peaches. And I got the sweet apples because ginger's really strong, and I wanted to be on the sweeter side. So first things first, let's start processing our foods by getting them all cut up. I'm going to do the peach cinnamon ginger shots first, the peach apple cinnamon ginger shots first, and then I'll do the orange last. So keep that in mind. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start by chopping up our apples. We are just going to give them a slice, put them in the blender. We're not chopping them completely, but just taking like the cores out, and I don't have one of those core thingies. Now, I am going to leave the skin on of these because, and I've already washed them because they're going to just be grinded down. And I forgot to mention in the beginning, you are going to need a sifter and, or is that what it's called? A mesh strainer, there you go. A mesh strainer and a cheesecloth. So that way none of the pulp gets into your juice. That's just what I use, but let's just do that. So I'm not worried about the skin because when I put it through the cloth, none of that will make it through, so I'm just going to put that in there so that way we get all the nutrients grinded down too. I have the Ninja, so that's what I'm going to be using. We're just going to start shoving our apples in there. Tell me this apple isn't like perfectly shiny and gorgeous and kind of reminds you of the apple from Snow White. My peaches have molded, so this is just going to be an apple cinnamon ginger shot. Next is our ginger. I'm going to cut right here. Ginger is so hard to cut. Boom, like that, and maybe like this part. And then I'm gonna give it a little bit with like a spoon. You just scrape off that outer edge. Hold on, let me get a spoon. See, you just use a spoon and just scrape off that outer edge. You don't want to scrape too much, but just enough, because like I said, we are gonna run it through a sifter, but anything that's ugly, you know, just keep it clean. Now that we have it all skinned, let's get it into the blender. Now we're going to add some water to this blender as well, some filtered water. So let's get this water in there, just a little bit, not too much, just so it blends easier. Okay, so after I blend, I put the bowl, the mesh strainer, and the cheesecloth that I obviously use all the time for juicing, and we are going to take it out. This to me, like, it's going to be good enough, so let's just start pushing it through to get rid of all the pulp. This next process is definitely a process of love, and it takes a little bit of time, but we're going to pour it in like that. We're going to let it slowly go through. We're going to take this and then give it a little push to make sure that we're getting all of that juice out. If you think that this looks dry, it's not. I can still tell by the glisten that there's still lots of juice in there, so we're going to just keep pushing down, and then we're going to ream and squeeze the rest of that juice out. Okay, you want all of that healthy, good juice. Look, just when you pick it up and give it a tiny squeeze, look how much juice coming out. There's so much juice left in there. Make sure that you squeeze it with everything you got and get all that juice out. Look how much smaller it looks just squeezing that juice out. Look how much drier this looks. Now you can compost this or even use it for other recipes, for other baked goods. It's really up to you. This can be used for so many things. So now we're just getting the rest of this. This was what was left in the blender. We're just getting all the juices out. Now that we have this juice all beautiful and clear, we are going to put it into a jug, and I'm going to add the cinnamon into this jug because I'm going to use this bowl to make my husband's orange juice, so I don't want to put cinnamon in here. So I put a tablespoon in here, but I really like cinnamon, so put however much cinnamon you like. So let's pour this in here, get this going. We're just gonna give it a mix, get that cinnamon really mixed in there, and boom. Okay, we're gonna taste this at the end, but let's get working on our orange shots. I don't need oranges, so I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this, but I think I'm just gonna cut them in half and then peel them. I'm also doing a little bit less ginger because my husband is not a huge ginger fan, but he is going to drink these to keep him healthy, so let's try that. Okay, so now that I cut them in half, do I just push and they come out? How does this work? Okay, I cut them into 4s and it seems to be working. So I'm just gonna put these in the blender. Okay, now that we have the oranges and ginger in there, let's give this a pulse. Okay, it's looking nice and orange juicy, so now we're gonna put it through the strainer. Boop, boop, boop. Same process as last time. We're just gonna keep working the solid juices out, and then we're gonna squeeze this, and I will be back with the little bottles I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in little bottles for my husband, so that way he can just grab them and take them in the morning on his way to work. Look at how beautiful this is. It honestly just looks like orange juice, but it's a ginger shot. Obviously, this is a big one. He'll just put it in a shot glass and take it. But this is done. All right, you guys, now let's taste test our apple cinnamon ginger shots. Now, I've had this before, but in like tea form. I used to make like a tea out of it. I literally got a shot glass so we could do it like this. And I liked it when it was steeped over the stove, so I'm hoping that I like it. Let's give it a whirl. Okay. Oh, that is good. Oh. That ginger, that apple, that cinnamon, that warmth, it almost feels like the holidays. Like, I can't explain it. It's just so good. And it's gonna keep me healthy all winter long. Obviously, I'm gonna have to make more. I'm gonna drink through this. But in case you guys are curious, ginger shots don't always have to just be citrus. They can be apples, peaches, and other fruits as well. All right, you guys, cheers to you. Thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure that you hit that subscribe. I may do Bakemas this year. We are going to see, because who knows if I'll even have time to film those videos, but I really want to try. All right, you guys, have a good one. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.